Just to touch on it real quick, is gaming has become bigger than music and movies combined. From a sheer number and an audience and a revenue perspective of what we're seeing, we're talking hundreds and hundreds of billions on an annualized basis. So what's happening from the market cap within the industry, people want to extend the life of their brand. You see movies are more and more into games all the time.
Okay, welcome into Future Fuzz, the digital marketing podcast. I'm Vince Quinn, and today we're talking about marketing lessons from the ever-evolving gaming industry. And joining us for that conversation is Berkley Egenes. Now, Berkley is the Chief Marketing and Growth Officer at Xsola, specializing in creating and marketing video game commerce solutions aimed at helping their partners reach more players and earn more revenue around the world. He's a creator of successful partnerships, collaborations, and campaigns for brands and organizations aimed at elevating their awareness, perception, and experience in the global marketplace. With over 23 years of marketing and product integration experience, he brings his talents to Xsola from the eSports industry, which very cool, by the way. I've got some questions, where he most recently helped build the Ghost Gaming brand, sponsorship sales, media relations, social presence, and online store. He can sing, he can dance. Berkley, welcome to the show.
Good to see you, Vince. I appreciate you being here. That was a good PR description from my team putting it together. It's a fun time to be in gaming, a fun time to be in commerce, and really we love sharing the story and some of the things that we're working on here.
Yeah, so first off, just give people a background of Xsola, what it is, and what kind of work you do there.
For sure. Xsola is a video game commerce company. We power video game monetization, distribution, and payments around the world. We operate in 200 different geographies, and that's a very specific word, geographies, because that's more than the countries in the world putting into it. But to enable players to pay and play on the platform they want, pay with their preferred method of payment. So if you want a wallet, you want Apple Pay, you want a credit card, you want to use credits, other things like that as well. We figured that out for game developers around the world. We represent about a little over 4,000 games to help make that possible. So you think about it, if you're playing a game in Vietnam, you want to play with your favorite currency. You're in Brazil and you're an unbanked player, which means you don't have a bank account, but everything's in your digital wallet. So you have to take a physical currency, get it into your digital wallet, and then play. You want to pay for groceries, other things like that. You're going to use something called Pix. It's a payment partner of ours in Brazil, and you're going to be able to use that through a digital wallet. We make all of that possible on the back end. So you're in the game, you're playing, and you want to make a purchase. You want to top up your account. You want more skins. You want more currencies. You want more gems. You'll go through the experience, go online, make that payment. And then the interface that you would see is part of the game. We completely customize it for the brand. So you don't see another pop-up. It's not like you're buying t-shirts or jeans or shoes or whatever online and you get this weird pop-up that comes up. And it's a whole nother system that you're actually giving your information to. We provide the branded experience for developers of video games to do that within their ecosystem. So it's their interface, everything that comes into it, but it's us on the back end. So we're a true white label experience from a software perspective, and be able to do that, make that possible. And it can be fun. It can be challenging to make that happen and possible. And we have opportunities all the time. We work with our partners they want to grow to a region, and we be able to turn that on and then market to their consumers and their players and say, hey, this payment method is now on for this game in this country. Players, get on board. Let's go.
Yeah. So when you're dealing with all of, which is incredibly complicated, I mean, to talk about all of these different places, all of these different games, different styles, different, it just like the systems and all of it, it's a ton. So for you then, I mean, in your role, like how are you facilitating all of this as a chief marketing and growth officer?
Sure. So you think about it as we're a B2B company with, B2C visions and making things possible for them. So our initial customer is the game developers. So my job is to reach out to game developers through all of our multitude of channels that we work with, from social media to content syndication to podcasts to events. We'll do over 250 events this year around the world in all 6 different continents. Somehow we'll figure out how to get to Antarctica to have games. But we are in all 6 continents right now, where there are game developers and studios and putting that together. Our job is to engage with them. We'll do campaigns, we'll do email drips, we'll do nurture sequences, really to get them to sign up, come over to our platform, sign up, get integrated together. And our BD and the customer support and account management are second to none, in providing those services to make it happen. And then we'll get engaged when they start integrating. And then my team also will help them from a B2C perspective to provide guidance, recommendations, best practices to go market to the consumer. So it becomes that connective tissue from a B2B to C. We have a very broad team, very diverse crew, that I love, because they're dedicated, they're passionate, they're smart, they're around the world. So we're headquartered here in Los Angeles, right? And my team probably has 6 people here, but I have a team of over 40 around the world. And we truly run, 24, I'm going to say 24/5, because it's around the world, going into the different teams and different regions in which we operate. Very diverse group, nearly 70% female, which I'm really proud of. And it doesn't matter where you're from, what's going on, you can bring great ideas. And we put those ideas to test. And that's some of what I do is I take some of these ideas from the teams, from the insights, and then package it up into a campaign that's going to help us drive results by getting more developers to sign on. And then also ideas to help those developers we currently have to succeed and to be, they always come to us, we need more incrementality, meaning they need more purchases from players. And then they need, user acquisition. Everybody in digital tech marketing needs user acquisition, but figuring out different ways how to do it, because those costs are becoming increasingly higher as we go to acquire a user to come over.
So what does that look like for games? I mean, as you're helping these games grow and get more people on, because obviously I don't think everybody knows gaming in and out. For me, I'm a nerd about it. I have an original Nintendo sitting behind me. I don't know if you can quite see that, but yeah. So there you go. Like, that's me. That's what I'm about. There's an N64 at my feet. So nice. I'm all about it. But for the people who are familiar with this, I mean, what are the kinds of tactics that you're using to grow these games? What do they need?
So for the games themselves, we'll figure out different ways that they can market. They'll put their game up on a platform such as Steam. If it's a PC web-based game, or if it's a mobile game, they'll put on Apple and Google, respectively, on those app stores to get it from a distribution standpoint. But we find different channels you can go to while remaining in compliance with the terms of service for each of those platforms to be able to promote that game. So with the technology and some of the rules and regulations that have recently changed in the United States, you can now do direct links for U.S. consumers. I'm going to be very clear on this. U.S. consumers can go into the App Store, play their game, and top up their account from within the app, and be able to make that direct buy button link purchase to what we call a web shop. And it's using a web browser, and being able to pull that up, make that purchase, and get right back into the game seamlessly. And what that does is eliminate friction, eliminates clicks, eliminates, hey, I got to remember my credit card again. You don't have to do any of that. We set that up from a user profile perspective through our login tools to be able to enable that to happen. So with 1-2 clicks, you can make a purchase, be back in the game, and level up your experience and help you get to those next levels in your favorite game, particularly if it's a mobile game. If it's a PC game, we can do that online for you.
And how recently did that go into effect?
There's been, for the mobile side of things, the litigation's been going on since 2020 during the pandemic, but April 30th was really the tipping point with the Ninth District Court in the U.S. making that ruling on Apple, of what made that possible. You can do direct links. And about 2 hours ago, the same district court saying a similar ruling to Google, and we're rolling out messaging as we speak. I left a meeting right before this that was, what are we going to do? What's the messaging that's going to come out? And my team's making that happen, and putting that together. You will probably go on LinkedIn and Twitter right now, or X, and see that post here in a second. So it's being responsive, being nimble, and then what we do with that information is we go take that to our partners and educate them. And here's what's possible. Here's, we're reading the same documents you are, but to help you as a studio head, as a acquisition or somebody head of growth for a game, to be able to show them what is possible and what they can do.
So what does it look like to set up a efficient speed to market? Like when you're getting these kinds of updates, you need to get all this information out. You're sharing it with your clients. You're trying to get things out just in the public and inform them. I mean, how do you do this quickly and efficiently?
I have an incredible team. Like hands down, it's the team. We have very clear processes and we have KPIs and mandates that we have that we go forward. It's, create simple, repetitive processes. We want to grow and we want to move fast. To be able to do that and provide those mechanisms, if you had to start and stop every time some idea came into you and you like rethink things and, redesign the wheel every single time, you're going to be slow. You're going to be ancient. And you're going to be, just slowly trying to cross that street. And, when everybody else is revving their car trying to get through the intersection, you're not going to be able to do that. So we set up programs within our team, career leaders, ownerships, responsibility to go do that and to be fast. You were not perfect. We will, you'll make a bump along the lines here, there. And that's with your team and you do, postmortems and things like that. And you don't make the same mistake twice. And then when you kill it, you do a great job on a campaign and it made a huge difference. Do another postmortem and say, all right, how do we double down? How do we do this again and again and again in a positive way and learn from that positive activity that we've had as we go forward? We do that on events a lot. We try different things. It is not the same old, same old. You can't do that in marketing anymore. You can't do that in tech. You can't do that in fintech and just rinse and repeat. You won't be successful. You might be stagnant. You might just be good, but you're not going to continue to grow. And we, with the growth in the gaming industry and the sectors in which we're seeing, you have to be ahead of it. It's hard. It's not easy. I wake up in the morning sometimes with one eye open to like look at my phone to see what regulation's next. And you're going to try to be proactive against that change and what's going on. It could be here in the California courts. It could be Digital Markets Act in Europe. It could be something in South Korea that comes in from their government and says, hey, here's something new that's changing and what that affects from a commerce, taxation, cross-border policies and things that you need to go that are being affected, and you have to be ahead of that and be able to do it. But it starts with a core incredible group of individuals and team members that go into it, and then use your tools to be effective. Use the process flows, the project management tools. We use a lot of AI tools here to be able to create content faster, and you train those chat GPTs of the world to be able to write and to produce and to do production level content for us. I do all the time when I'm writing an article. I do a LinkedIn post and I was like, write me a post on this. And then it'll be like long, right? And then you're like, no, 100 words. And then you chop it down and then it trains it. And then you get with the algorithms and thing that comes through and help us be more effective.
Yeah. And so let's talk a little bit about this like evolution, rapidity all across the market. I mean, because from the gaming side of it, like it's such an incredible thing to see all of the indie games that pop up out of nowhere and go insanely viral, the kinds of platforms that games are on and accessibility. I mean, Netflix has games, like you see it everywhere now. So it's accessible in so many ways you've never seen it before. The ability to create high quality games from small developers, like if you could just give people some perspective on how much just in the past like 6-7 years, really, like how much this gaming industry has changed.
So there are games that are produced every day and they go to market every single day. We're talking tens of thousands that happen across a year that you're going to see. Some people call them indies. Some people call them garage games, 4 or 5 of us in a garage building a game or, a dorm room, office building, whatever, and putting that together. Though that's the future of games. Like what's going to be the next game that's going to come out, the next Fortnite, the next Call of Duty, the next Genshin Impact, things like that are being developed in a garage somewhere or in a coffee shop in a small group of people. And they put things together and have an idea of what they want to create. And they're amazing creators. And that's where we help in is like we get these ideas. We hear from people. We go to events, trade shows. We have an incredible Xsola funding club that it's a matchmaking service for folks. So it's take these creators, take a garage game, bring it into our program, matchmake them with VC companies, private equity investors, publishers who love their idea and game and help them produce it, build it, put it together, and then go monetize. And we help that process and facilitate that. Because this is the future of games right here. We engage with thousands and thousands a year. We go to a lot of shows. We do a lot of showcases with some partners to really give them the exposure and the opportunity. Once you have a game ready to go in a concept, get it in front of people. Let them play on it. They'll give you feedback. This is one thing. This is one industry that it's all boats were truly rising together. I've sat in many meetings. I've sat in many dinners, open houses, things like that. People are like, hey, I know somebody. I can help you. Let me go get them. I'm going to bring them over here. And he or she is a big wig in a AAA game. And then this indie person's like floored, and they kind of fan out a little bit. And because they're talking to the studio head from, say, EA's example, or somebody like that, to go into and to really learn and help each other out. Because when more games get produced, get launched, get distributed, everybody wins, because nobody's playing just one game. You're playing multiple games. You're playing 3, 4, 5. I mean, I look at my phone, I have a whole screen full of them from a mobile perspective that I play, at home with my daughter, and things like that, we want more games to come out, and our job is to help facilitate that, help that make that possible, and then help them monetize and get connected in with the Xsola services so that we can make that possible, so that they can grow and not only do their one game, do the second, do the third, do the fourth. Because that's where you see the success. The folks that do the second game, because they learned from the first one, the second, third, and fourth ones are incredible.
Future Fuzz is sponsored by SalesSource, B2B pipeline management and sales growth for your business.
So from a relationship building standpoint, because I mean, you're talking about all these developers all over the globe, big, small, like all these different sizes, different languages, everything. I mean, how do you begin to, almost first just understand and get a grasp of this constantly expanding market? It feels like it's expanding faster than the speed of light, basically. You can't even see it, right? It's like the universe. So how do you begin to wrap your arms around it and grasp the idea of like, hey, these are the kinds of targets we should be going with and building those relationships? How do you break through?
It's a lot of insights that we see from a data points that we know from games that we work with. We just know the type of genres that are selling, the type of platforms that are selling, and like what's going on. It could be a regional thing. And so then we reach out to some of those games. They make introductions for us. We go to trade shows. We're about to go to one in Gamescom in Cologne, Germany. That will be the 18th through the 22nd of August. There'll be 200,000 people there at this show. B2B size looks like for the first few days is about upwards about 35, and the rest is consumers. Go see what they're saying, see what they're playing, see what's going on. Have our product guys go and do that, and they look at the B2C, what we call the B2C area internally. But like, go check it out and see what they're playing, what type of games are going on, and then we go, figure that out and how to reach out to them, how to engage from a social media perspective. We'll host a dinner and just invite new people that we haven't met with before. Hey, I'd love to take you out to dinner. Let's have a conversation. I hear you two are having some of the similar things. Let's bring you two together. And it'd be two completely different games. Somebody's like, great, they're a mobile game and they're killing it and they want to go cross-platform. The other one is a PC game and they're killing it, but they want to go to Africa, and you got to go mobile if you're going to that continent. And put that together because of the user behavior there, and just everything is on the mobile phone. Make that collaboration, make that connection, and then hopefully we can put two and two together and help them integrate and to expand their game. It's very data focused, very target audience identified that we have figured out as we go into it. And we've tried different things. You go to a lot of trade shows and industry events. As an example, it used to just be booth, conference hall, call it a day. Right now, you do things around the community. We have a clubhouse that we did at an event in March, and we did one here in June. We're doing one in August in Cologne, really just to have people meet up, come to an environment that's safe, authentic, real, talk to us, have a conversation, not high stress, not, you go to trade show events, not a lot of like drinking and goofing off. Like, it's, hey, let's talk about some business and let's keep it safe, keep it on the appropriate level, and have conversations with folks. And that makes a difference, and they understand and really ask questions. What are you trying to solve? What business are you, where are you trying to target? What is your target audience? And we listen to that, and then we use that to go to market from our tactics, as well as we look to engage with more partners.
So just natural sense of community, really is what it sounds like it boils down to.
For real. And you hear about Twitch, you hear about YouTube and other places like that. They're using it from a virtual community, and obviously all that really kind of exploded during COVID. even before then, and what we're seeing particularly from the gaming sector. But that's the whole point. Bring people together, talk about things, what's going on, make a connection. Very rarely is it just one-to-one. It's, hey, you knew somebody who knew somebody else who worked with you or worked with us in the past, and you make that connection and put that together. So that's our goal. As we go into new markets, that's our approach, where we really want to just help build the community on a local level.
Yeah,
You'll see stuff coming out from us for new markets, and that's our approach when we go into it.
so from the outside in, right? Let's say I'm part of a business that has nothing to do with gaming whatsoever. We don't make games. We're not developers, but obviously gaming is a booming market. It accesses pretty much anybody anywhere. So some of the ways that I've seen it where other brands are starting to cross into gaming in dynamic ways, like you see special versions of Fortnite, for example, where they have maps that are developed around like Liquid Death. Great collaboration, right? Like those kinds of things are fantastic. So you love to see those kinds of things. What are some other ways then for people who are like, hey, I've got a business, I've got a brand, I'm looking to get connected to gaming. What are some ways that that's starting to come together?
No, you're right. Just to touch on it real quick, is gaming has become bigger than music and movies combined.
Oh my God.
From a sheer number and an audience and a revenue perspective, what we're seeing, we're talking hundreds and hundreds of billions on an annualized basis. So what's happening from the market cap within the industry, people want to extend the life of their brand. You see movies are more and more into games all the time. Games like Dune, Spider-Man, obviously, the Marvel MCU universe, is, DC Comics, other things like that you're seeing into it. You're seeing John Wick in Fortnite. You're seeing Air Jordan in Fortnite that you've seen in the past. But really, they're looking at it to create that brand awareness, cognitiveness, remembrance that people have across the multiple touch points that are going on. And that extends the life of it. The old movie just plays in the theater and call it a day, and we hope it comes out in VHS when we were, not to date us because you have a Nintendo back.
No, I remember VHS. I'm around. I spent many trips to Blockbuster, man. Many trips.
Yeah, exactly. And and you're out for the game or the movie that you wanted to watch. Right? Dang it, got to watch something else. But you're seeing more people come into it. You're seeing cereal brands. You're seeing CPG brands. You're seeing cars get into games. And what's going on? You're racing a Ferrari. You're racing a Porsche. You're, whatever game. You're seeing that happen. And you're seeing IP happen more and more, you look at like an EAFC 25 and it has all the clubs in there. You have, NFL games, you have NCAA stuff, what's going on in the States, and you're seeing those brands get engaged. They want to extend that connection with it and have that brand recognition. It was like, oh, cool factor. My, shoes are in Fortnite. I'm seeing this skin over here in Roblox. You're seeing different things that go on, and it's they're not only wanting to do content, but they're just doing promotion of the game. You'll see games on cereal boxes now that, we dabbled in. I did some CPG work in a previous life with two of the biggest in the world, and we were starting to dabble in that back then. And now you see it as a constant and really bridging that connection, because let's be honest, everybody's a gamer. I don't care if you're playing Scrabble, Wordle, Call of Duty, Dota, and everything in between. You're a gamer. You've got something on your phone. You played something on your laptop, when you were supposed to be working. Like you're playing a game of some sort, and a video game at that. And the numbers are staggering that are around the world. And a lot of the first forms of entertainment you're seeing, particularly Gen Y, Z, Alpha now, their first form of entertainment is right here, and it's a game. And what's going on, because it's something to keep the kid entertained sometimes as a parent, but it's other times just to have some interaction that's happening. So the people are growing up with games, even more so because the availability and access to games is so much easier now. You don't have to go down to GameStop and wait for the game and stay up all night in the parking lot. You're not, doing cartridges. And I'm an Atari guy, so I was 2600 back in the day, and I had the Nintendo, and I almost burned it out on Christmas night, playing Mike Tyson's Punch Out and Duck Hunt and all kinds of stuff back in the day. And you don't have to wait on it anymore. You can go online, buy the game, download the content, play in minutes, and putting that together. And people our brands are trying to get more and more involved in what is possible. And that's one of the things that we are building. We're building platforms. We're building things like what we call meta sites and creating these digital 3D experiences to bring brands, games, content together to really showcase that experience on the internet of what is possible, because there's not a day that we don't go by that you're not on the internet. And then a lot of times you're playing a game.
Yeah.
So it's brands want to be part of that. I'm just looking around this office and like there's basketballs, there's like suitcases and things like that we see. Some colleagues were just walking by, tossing things around, having a Coke in their hand, and it's like they want to do different things like that. And brands want to be involved, and they have to do that. It's almost become like a new commercial platform. So you're seeing pre-roll, you're seeing games get involved. You see, people stream from a Twitch, YouTube, other places like that, as well as you're seeing, offers being put together from a brand. Hey, I'm playing this game, but I'm also drinking Mountain Dew, or, love these pretzels, whatever that item is. You're seeing that kind of like, it's not even a collision course anymore. It's more an intersection. We live and breathe here at the intersection of tech, entertainment, and brands. And we're right here in the middle of it, in what we'll be able to provide for the community.
It's pretty incredible how it has changed so much. I mean, where it's so culture forward and really driving everything. Sure. I mean, Minecraft movie, like biggest thing on the planet, made billions of dollars. The Super Mario movie crossing over, like all that kind of stuff hits. I mean, I remember going back when I used to play video games a lot as a little kid. That's how I learned to count. I literally learned to count to 100 because I played Super Mario so much on Nintendo. Right. So then it was like I was worried to talk about games at school because people would make fun of me for being a nerd. And now it's like, if you didn't play games, like, what's wrong with you? So
being a nerd is cool now.
That's right.
And it really is. And there's t-shirts, you'll see it, and like people wearing it. And it's something special, and you can have your own identity. You can be who you are or pretend to be something else. Like, what do you want to do? Playing games, and you have fun. It's an escape at times. You can be on a subway going from home to work or home to school. You can be on a school bus. You can be in an Uber. Please don't do it while you're driving. But, airplane. I go into airplanes. We travel a good bit now. And I look up and down the aisle, like you get up to go to the restroom or go get a drink or something like that. Get some water, and somebody's playing a game. And usually grown men, big dudes playing PUBG. That's a very common thing. I'll see PUBG Mobile a lot, and they're playing it on the. I'm like, that's awesome. And then you look over, and some people are playing Candy Crush or Sudoku, just simple games like that, and what's going on. And now you're like on an airplane, and you can play with people in the plane, and play different games and kind of race from like a mind, like those mind games that are pretty cool, and like play, and it'll be puzzles and things like that you can do. I'm like, that you couldn't do that back in the day. And that's how much it's taken over. That's how much that experience has come in. And it's on every single touch point. I mean, we're having brands like financial companies, the MasterCards, the Visas of the world wanting in. And having those conversations because they're like, oh, not only are we just monetizing, but it's a brand experience perspective. Because we're trying to solve a problem because people aren't opening bank accounts, in the upcoming, like they're just living, in the wallet. The wallet is, on the mobile phone is kind of taken over. And so really educating people on what's possible. This alphas, the Generation Zs that are out there is like their ways of living, operating, functioning as human beings is going to be different because of the technology, and games are right there in the middle. I'll do a drop off at school. Kids are playing. They'll have the laptops up playing. They're all in a cuddle. The thumbs are going like quickly, and they're playing a game. And they're squatting up together and putting it together. It's pretty cool to see, and like what's going on, and to see, you talk about learning how to count playing Mario. The computations that people are doing in their head and like eye-hand coordination and things like that, it's pretty incredible to watch. And it's actually a good thing for you see that. But then, you look at it as like kids coming into it. So you think from a marketing perspective, coming back to it, parents, parental controls, two-factor authentication, and making purchases online. I get asked all the time. I go to events, hey, my kid just blew $3,000 this last month on games. What do I do? I was like, first of all, get a gift card, get that off, is what's happening. And I can sell you a gift card. and put that together and solve that problem, but really keeping it safe. As more and more people go online, we saw that during the pandemic. Everybody was online, obviously, but keeping it in a safe environment. But that's something we communicate to as well. Not from a B2B perspective, we put content out there and, hey, mom and dad, here's what you need to think about. Here's some parental control mechanisms to put in place to, help make it easier, help make it more safe and enjoyable for your kids to play games. Not to worry about people coming in. You don't have to worry about, dropping into a lobby and being bullies or, harsh and things like that. There are tools, there are services out there that prevent that and identify those things. But we look at it from a payments perspective. It's like, hey, did you make that purchase? Or did you just buy the whole catalog? Digital items, you're like, what happened? And, game developers like, thank you, but we're like, hey, let's help out this mom and dad here for a second and a situation of what's going on. But those are all things that we are aware of as we look at the whole user experience from the partner to the consumer. You have to look at that. And that helps you define your target audience, your messaging, where you want to go, your education materials, and then the content that you put out there. We weren't doing podcasts 3 years ago, and everybody's still potting, when you go into it and I listen to a podcast every day when I drive home. I have an hour to drive home. So I listen to one and it helps you kind of tune out, for a second, but then you're still getting educated on materials and information that you want to listen to. So being able to be in all the right places at the right time.
Yeah, it's what it's all about. And so Berkley, this has been great. This has been everything I hoped it could be. Awesome conversation. Like you said, you guys are just in the middle of everything. It's such an awesome place to be. So really appreciate your time, getting to talk with you. For everybody who's hearing this and saying, hey, I got to follow Berkley, I got to follow Xsola, where should they go?
Hit me up on LinkedIn. It's just Berkley Egenes, on same handle on Twitter. Check us out at Xsola. And see what's going on from us. You have questions, send us a DM. Our team will be happy to talk with you and solve it. If you have any questions, what you should be doing for your next game, we're here. We're to help. We just want to see all games be successful, and all boats will rise together. No matter if you're three people, three ladies from Sydney, Australia, trying to develop a game. Because we met with a group a couple years ago there in Sydney at South by Southwest, to a studio that's got 10,000 people, employees, and banging out games. We're here to help make sure everybody's successful, to help them grow, and then we have all the things available for developers to be successful, not only for the developers but for the community and then the players themselves. So it's an exciting time to be where we are. We're not stopping. We're going to keep pushing. We're going to keep innovating, coming out with new products and solutions. We have an announcement coming in 2 weeks that we're really excited about. That's coming on board, that we do right before our big shows. So, and then hit us up if we're in an event. We're at Gamescom in Cologne. We'll be at G-Star in South Korea, Tokyo Game Show in September. So it's a fun journey. And it's like we always like to say, is help everybody to enjoy the game.
Well, you certainly helped me. So Berkley, appreciate it so much. Again, thanks for being on the show. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you later on Future Fuzz.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Thanks for tuning in and making the choice to listen to this podcast. If you liked what you've heard today, please don't forget to subscribe.